Hi everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel, Thread the Needle. My name is Vani and I live in Newfoundland, Canada. So it has been quite the last couple of weeks, so I have some updates for you and let's see where we go from there. So the weather has been really good, so I didn't get as much stitching time as I normally do, but I still got some quality time in. We've been spending a lot of time out in the garden or going for walks. One thing about Newfoundland is that during this season, whenever the weather is good, you have to jump on it because it can turn like that. We have been known to have all 4 seasons in one day. We've even had snowstorms in June. So when the weather is good, you drop everything and go do something outside because you never know how long it's going to last. So this weekend we had some really nice weather, and we decided to finish up a couple of projects in the garden and also to take advantage and go for a walk. Here we have some beautiful, beautiful walking trails and hikes, and they're all along the coast, so you can take a scenic route or you can take just a plain walk through the pathways around town. It's a really, really wonderful spot. So I got to take advantage of that, but a little less on the stitching side, but I still have stuff to show you. So let's get right into it. We'll start as normal with, well, I guess I should say, welcome back. To those of you who are returning viewers, thank you for joining me again this week. And for those of you who it's your first time here, welcome. And this is my Flosstube channel where I talk about all things cross stitch. All things full coverage cross stitch, because that is my preferred method of stitching. I work on primarily, exclusively full coverage artwork projects, and I've got multitude works in progress that I love to shuffle through as my mood changes. As my interests change, I really like to have a variety of projects to work on. And so it gives you guys as viewers too, different things to look forward to seeing, because you might not like what I'm stitching on. Just wait a while. I'll be working on something else pretty soon. Okay, so let's jump right in. It is the end of May, so I'm gonna talk about how the rest of my Fly May stitching went for the month of May. But as per usual, let's start with my focus pieces. First of all, this one is, I have 3 focus pieces for the year, and these are 3 pieces that I selected that I wanted to see significant progress on for this year, and I selected these 3 pieces to work on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then the rest of the week, I go through my rotation and work on whatever project that my project picking app tells me to work on. And if I'm not feeling it, I might switch again or spin the wheel again, but most of the time it's great. I'll just work on whatever the wheel lands on. So to begin with, this is my first focus piece. As always, it's Ganesha. It is being worked on 22 count fabric, 2/1 full cross. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs project. And ooh, I just nudged the camera there. Sorry, folks. And here's what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's quite beautiful. I really enjoy working on it, although I'm sad to say I didn't get much work on it this time. I actually have no progress to show you, which is so super sad, and I am so sorry, but I will soon get back to it because I have a plan. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like when it's finished. Isn't it just gorgeous? So excited to keep working on this. I just wish I had the time and the energy this last little while to work on it, but I just didn't. I'm only human, guys. But, so yeah, you can still love looking at it anyway. I mean, it's gorgeous. But yes, I did start working on this diagonal here. So I think what I'm gonna do, because in my next project, I'll show you how successful the 100 stitches a day per project worked out. And I believe I mentioned that I got inspired to do that because of Leanne, and Leanne learned it from Sarah. So Leanne is Small Town Stitches and Sarah is Stitchin' Mommy. So Sarah started it, and then Leanne was inspired by her, and then I was inspired by Leanne when she mentioned it on her Flosstube. Basically, you pick a project to commit to working 100 stitches a day on it before you move on to whatever you're going to work on for the rest of the day, the week, whatever. But every day you put in 100 stitches. And then at the end of the month, technically speaking, you should have 3,000 stitches put in at least into a project. And I think for the month of June, I'm going to pick this as my 100 stitches a day project. A lot of people like Leanne and Sarah, they keep the one project as their 100 project until it's finished. But I feel like every month I'm going to have a project that requires a little bit more extra attention. And I think this time I want it to be Ganesha. So I'm going to make this one as my June 100 stitches a day project. And I'm hoping that that will kind of catch me up to all the stitches that I've missed over the last few weeks. And moving right along, the current project that I was doing in May for 100 stitches of the everyday is the Siamese fighting fish. I have a finished picture to show you. It's gonna look like, and yep, I just dropped that. All right, so here's what it's gonna look like. It is a Siamese fighting fish, and it's so colorful and it's so bright, and I've got some good stuff to show you about that. So let me grab that from the floor from which it fell. All right, here it is. So let's see if I can get the angle right to show you, but this is Siamese fighting fish, and I'm working it on 28 count, 1/1 full cross. It is really, really cool. I'm working in diagonals, full coverage cross country in the diagonals, and you'll notice I'm finishing on a angle here because this is where the page ends, where that line of dots is. So I didn't want a straight line across the bottom of all the pages, so instead I decided to do it like this just for fun. So I'm almost finished this diagonal of stitches, and right here in this section here was my first little bit of specialty stitches. I don't know if you can see the little glitter on the dark pewter gray colored, there you go, pewter grayish color stitches. Super fun, so I can't wait to do more of it in the next few columns over there. So this one is by One Stipple 2 Stitch. Now what's special about that company is that it's run by, it's a small business owner, Anita, and she created this company called One Stipple 2 Stitch. She has an Etsy shop and she's on Instagram as well. She is a crafter like many of us, and I want to explain this properly because from my last video there was a comment that, oh, you should make sure that you know who you're buying from, you never know where she's getting her charts, she might just be taking an image and creating a PDF out of it, be careful what you're doing. I'm here to tell you right now there's nothing to worry about. All of Anita's charts are created from original artwork. Her son painted that picture of the Siamese fighting fish and gave her permission, the copyrights, to convert it into cross stitch and sell to us. And if you look on her site, on her Etsy site, you will notice some of the other projects that she has for sale now, especially if you use a coupon in my description, which I'll get to later. But some of the other charts that she has in her store are photos that herself or her husband took themselves with their own camera, and she converted them into cross stitch because they're just beautiful. So I'm here to say no worries, no issues. She's legit. She's great. She's a wonderful person. And even if you have any questions or any concerns about the charting, or she will do everything she can to make you, her customer, happy. And I couldn't have been more happier when she reached out to me way back in the beginning, and she gave me this beautiful chart of the Siamese fighting fish and said, hey, you are a full coverage cross stitcher and I need your help. And so I said, of course I'll work on this chart. And I did warn her it would take a while, and she said, that is fine. I just want to follow along in your journey and I want your opinion on how the chart is. And I am not disappointed. The chart so far has been fantastic, and you will be happy if you go check out her Etsy store. She has a couple of charts on there, and more than a couple. And she actually recently, this past week, added a new one. It's another colorful one. I don't have a picture to show you, but you should go check it out. And so, yeah, long story short, Anita is great. One stipple, two stitch. It's all hers, and you have nothing to worry about if you want to buy from her. She's fantastic. Okay, so let's move on. So because the 100 stitches a day works so well for the Siamese fighting fish, I'm going to try it with Ganesha and see how we go. Now, on to my third focus piece of the year. It is a mystery cell by the Cross Stitch Studio, and they came out at the beginning of the year with a mystery cross stitch cell. Mystery meaning that we don't know what we're stitching on, or we didn't, but recently enough of the design has come out that many people have guessed, and they guessed correctly. It is an owl. And so a mystery cell is just that, a mystery stitch along. And we don't know what we're stitching on, what we're going to be stitching on. All you get is the chart, and you just put the colors in and the stitches in, and you end up with what you end up with. And I've made it to, I'm still working on May's release. So here it is. I'm doing it on 18 count. And so if you can tell, I think this is where how the feathers are flowing here, and I believe the eyes might come here and here, and I think the beak might be here. They've already released June's because I think where they are, it's a long weekend this weekend, so they wanted to get it out before June 1st, which is tomorrow. Anyway, it already came out, so I'm clearly way behind. So I'm going to try and catch up as much as I can, but I'm trying not to stress about it. It'll happen when it happens. I'm still very much enjoying it. Even though we know what it's going to be, we don't know what the full picture is actually going to look like. We know that it was going to be a wildlife theme, and now we know it's going to be an owl, but we don't know what it's going to look like. So it's still a bit of a mystery, and I'm still enjoying every stitch. I kind of veered away from my cross country within a diagonal method of stitching because I just wanted to get some stitches in. So if there was something that had like just 12 or 10 stitches on the whole page, I would just go ahead and do it rather than sticking to the diagonal. And it was working for now, but I still prefer my diagonal stitching. And so that's that. That is my third focus piece of the year. All right, now let's move on to the final two works in progresses that I have to show you that I worked on in the last couple of days. So as you know, my third new start for the month of May, from Mayfly May, was Mini Avarice. I'm gonna pretend that's exactly how you're supposed to pronounce it. It is by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist's name is Marta Dalig, I think, and I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. It is the 7 Deadly Sins. This is one of the ones that I'm going to work on. It is a mini version of the real chart, which is humongous, and I just bought a collection of all the minis. It came in a full package, so I have all 7 of them, and each one is just so lovely, and I've been really wanting to. I'm really sorry, my phone is buzzing. Someone's trying to text me. Okay, sorry about that interruption. That was my carpool mom just checking on what time the girls need to be picked up. Now, so this is one of 7. This is Mini Avarice, and I have to tell you, if you have not seen this collection yet, you need to go to their website and check it out. Each single one is so amazing, and I can't wait to get more done on this because I'm making myself not do another one from the same collection until one of them is done, like I'm doing with the birthstones. And it seems to be working, but this one's a little bit bigger than the birthstones. The birthstones are QS version. I don't know exactly what QS stands for. Basically, it's like they cut off a portion and rechart it into a smaller size. So like if you wanted just her face, you could request that done into a QS size, which is a much, much smaller version. But whereas a mini is the whole chart recharted into miniature version. So that's what I have. I have a collection of all 7 of them, and they have such beautiful backgrounds for each one. So this one, they look like diamonds along the edge. And then I think the one with for Mini Lust, she has like flames. So each one has this circular background with a different symbol. They each have a different gorgeous, beautiful gown, and their faces are beautiful. Just the whole thing is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So here is how much I got done on Mini Avarice, and I thoroughly enjoyed every single stitch. Like, oh, it's so much fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed this so much. So that is that. And for those of you who are wondering how much detail you're missing when you get the mini version of a chart, let me see if I can do a comparison. So the corner that we are working on, that I'm going to show you that I worked on, is this top corner right here, okay? So take a gander at that, and then take a gander at this. So that's not bad, hey? I think it's pretty good detail-wise when you get a mini version. A lot of people are concerned you're gonna miss out on the detail, but really it's not bad. I'm so much enjoying this. I have to put it away because it's time to move on, but hopefully the rotation wheel will pick it again and I can work some more on this one because it was so much fun. Okay, now lastly, I will show you what my final new start for Mayfly May is going to be. Gosh, I don't even remember. I've been doing so many. I did the mini Dreamer's Tree, Little Dreamer's Tree. I did mini Moose Crossing, which came out really nice as well. And then I did mini Avarice. And then my final new start for the month of May is, let me get you a picture. Get ready, guys. It's a big one. It's called Sunflower Bee. It is, oh, I love it so much. And it's a little bit different to my normal ones. As you know, I do a lot of fairies and colorful stuff and everything, but this one, I've had my eye on it for a while, and I've owned the chart for a very long time. I bought it a long time ago and I just never pulled it out. I wasn't sure if I would ever get to it. And then Mayfly May just gave me the perfect excuse to get started on this one. So I'm doing this one on 18 count 2/1 full cross. Again, it's a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. I didn't get a whole lot done because unfortunately this sunflower bee fell victim to nice weather. All right, so here's what I have done so far. It's not bad. I mean, it's a lot of green, gray colors combinations, but it was still a joy to stitch on. I can't get over how much I love doing this. Okay, so that is my whips progress that I have to share with you. In the comments, someone had mentioned that when I was showing my beautiful finish on Peridot, here she is again. Ta-da! So they asked me to whip out all my other previous birthstone finishes, so I said, sure, I'll show you what I got. So these are already finished and framed, okay? And so my plan is to finish all 12 of the birthstones. And the first one that I started was QS Garnet. Okay, so that's the red one. I think that's January. And this is how it's finished. I'm trying to not get the light. I didn't get the museum glass. I just got the regular old glass. I just love the way it was framed. They did such a wonderful job. The purple on the inside matches the sky, and then the red. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. In this one, I really enjoy her hair. Her hair is just so beautiful. And then her fingers, like the detail in it is like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And her eyelash, the detail in her cheekbone and the eyelash, it's just beyond beautiful. So this is QS Garnet. That was the first one that I finished and had framed. And then I worked on QS Amethyst. And that's this one. It's so beautiful. Again, I love the shading in the hair. So I went with a light pink on the inside matting and then a purple on the outside to match. Now both the finished sizes are the exact same, right? So they're both the exact same finished size. If I hold it up properly, you'll tell, okay? But you'll notice the stitched finished size is different because Garnet is a little bit bigger than this one, but I told the framers, wow, that glare is ridiculous. Sorry, guys. So I told the framers that I wanted the finished size of the outside frame to be the exact same because I'm going to do 12 of them and I want them all identical. So we made the matting a little bit bigger on this one compared to this one. So if we put them together like this, yeah, so it's a little bit narrower on the Garnet, but the finished size, I get that to be equal. So the same will be done with this one. I think this one, Peridot, is closer. It might be even a little bit touch bigger than the Garnet, but it's a touch closer to the Garnet than it is to the Amethyst. So those are my birthstones that I have so far, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think in June, I'm gonna be starting another birthstone. I haven't completely finalized. I really don't mind which one because I love them all. A few of you have suggested Sapphire, so I think I might just do Sapphire and jump right in there with that one. I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks because I'm coming down from my high of all my starts in May, so I thought I'd give it a couple of weeks and then I'll start on, start on the birthstone. So yeah, super excited because that's such a lovely project to work on. I like that each birthstone connects you to the previous ones that you're doing and the ones that you're going to do in the future, and they each have a connection because each birthstone that I work on, I'm just so fascinated by the detail that comes out of it when you're stitching it and when you're done and when you look at it. I love it, love it, love it. Now, let's see. So, on to what we are going to do next. We were talking about the lovely Anita previously and how she has so kindly offered for me to share the love with you guys of her wonderful chart. And let me see if I can grab a quick picture of it. It is of these adorable little frogs right here. And some background on this, she or her husband, I don't know which one it was, they took this picture in the pond in their backyard and she charted it into a cross stitch. It's so adorable, and I have 3 copies to give away to you lovely people. And I asked you to comment on my previous video with a creative comment or a nice little story, and I got some lovely answers. And let me tell you, I've got 3 lovely winners. But before we move on to that, I just want to say, I love reading and hearing your comments every single time. I thoroughly enjoy it. I try and respond to every single one, even if it's just a simple thank you or I'm glad you like watching, because I do this because I want to share my love, and it's really nice to share my love of cross stitch, and it's really nice to hear that you guys appreciate what I'm trying to put out there. And and every time I read these comments, it makes me feel so happy. So I want to thank you guys again so much. And in last video and the previous video, there was just a lot of love going around, and I want to say thank you. This time I asked you guys to give me a creative way to use the word frog so that you could win the chart that Anita gave us. Okay, so the first winner, also, which reminds me, I'm gonna put my email address up here. The two previous winners from the previous draw for your opportunity for me to gift you a Heaven and Earth Designs. I gave you the winners, Georgia Stitcher, I need to hear from you, and as well, Christy Martin. Email me, guys. I want you to take advantage of this lovely opportunity. If you would like to pass on it, that's totally fine. Also, just let me know. Maybe I'll pick another winner. That was to help celebrate my 1,000 subscribers. So thank you very much. But on to this one. So I have 3 winners for the frog chart. You ready? First winner is aptly named Amy Loves Toads. Okay, so it's right there in her name. She really likes amphibians. Okay, so she said she would love to have this frog chart, and she really enjoyed watching the moose. She has another one that's very similar to the moose chart. It's called Deer Creek. You guys should check that one out too. So congratulations, Amy, you got one. Email me and I will send it your way, okay? And then our second winner. When I read this comment, I swear to God, I had no say in who got to win these charts. I used the random comment picker on YouTube. But you guys, I have to read her comment, and I even copied and pasted it elsewhere so that I could read it because it was on my phone. I usually use my phone to read these comments. It was a poem. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you really quickly. Because as I'm reading this poem, you'll realize who you are because you won. A pool was once congealed with frost. The frogs in its deep waters lost. No longer dared to croak or spring, but promised being half asleep if suffered to the air to creep. As very nightingales to sing, a thaw dissolved the ice so strong, they proudly steered themselves along, when landed, squatted on the shore, and croaked as loudly as before. And that poem is by Joanne Wolfgang von Goethe. I'm sure I just butchered that name, but I thought it was a creative way to talk about frogs. Why not? And so Anne Tideman, congratulations, you got the frog chart. And our final winner, her name is Grammy K. Hernandez. And she gave me a lovely story about her sister and frogs, and it was just a lovely personal story. So Grammy Hernandez, congratulations. So ladies, congratulations. All you 3 from today's draw and the 2 from previous. You're getting what you wanted. So please, the winners from today, email me so that I could pass along that lovely chart from Anita, 1 stipple 2 stitch. And I look forward to hearing from the winners from the last time episode. And I'll get you your Heaven and Earth Designs chart. So I'm so glad you guys could join me today. It has been a blast. Somehow I don't feel as organized today as I normally am. I'm always all over the place. I'm never organized. We already know this. But maybe I'll do better next time. Who knows? I probably won't. I'm just thoroughly enjoying working on all my projects. So like we said, I'm gonna still continue with my 3 focus pieces, but I'm gonna make Ganesha my 100 stitches a day project. I need a smaller, shorter way to say that. Leanne, there has to be a better way to say this. Come on, 100 stitches a day project. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that with Ganesha, and then I'm feverishly continuing to work on the mystery cell, and then we've got the rotation wheel. So that second part of the week where I do my rotations, it changes every time. Sometimes I will work on one project and then spin the wheel for the last few days of the week. I think this time, because things are so busy with the weather picking up, and not knowing what's going to happen every day. I think I want to give myself 2 days per rotation. So if I happen to fall on Avarice in my first rotation, I will spend 2 days on her before I move on. Oh, did I just show that? It's this way. Before I move on to the next project in my rotation. Another thing that I wanted to kind of float the idea out there, I had a couple of comments on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I give more regular updates on my progress at my Stitch Diary on Instagram. And on there, I've made many friends, and one of them wanted to try my method of diagonal stitching, but cross-country diagonal stitching. And I didn't realize that I was kind of one of the ones that was kind of really doing it this method. So I thought, if anyone's interested, and if I can figure out, because I'm not tech savvy at all, so if I can figure out how to do it, maybe piece it together, maybe I'll do a little, you know, how-to video on how I do my diagonal cross-country stitching. If anybody's interested. If not, it'll be out there for anybody who already asked me to show how to do it. I'll put out my version of how I do it and the different methods that I use to make it work for me, and how I find it best suits my style of stitching, because I am a full coverage stitcher. I have tried almost every single method of stitching out there, and I find that this version of combining the diagonal stitching, which takes pieces from parking, and then combining the cross-country stitching and taking bits and pieces of that. I'm combining a whole bunch of different methods of cross-stitching to benefit me and help me enjoy the process more. So I have more to show you, and it's working. So I'll keep doing it until it works. Until it stops working. So that's it for today, and I hope I'll have lots to share with you next time. It has been a blast as always. Thank you for coming. Please come back, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy stitching. Bye now.